It is 1 year this week since news broke that a firm tied to the Trump campaign exploited Facebook user data without permission to target those with political messages. Since the discovery, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg has appeared before U.S. Congress to answer questions about whether the company knew about this firm known as Cambridge Analytica and their actions.
Now, Facebook is making headlines again for another possible violation. According to reports, employees of the social media site had access to millions of users' passwords. Now, Facebook has responded, saying that they have now fixed the glitch in their system. So joining us now to talk about this, Facebook's year of scandal, really, is CNET senior producer Dan Patterson. Dan, thank you for joining us.
So, what a year it's been.
It has been. I mean, it's been sort of one hit after the other with Facebook, and now we have this latest thing with this. Let me ask you about this latest thing, actually, with the passwords that were internally available.
Yeah, so Facebook says, hey, look, no one outside of the company was able to see your passwords. They're still secure. And in fact, Facebook is saying no need to even reset or change your password. But it seems as though passwords were stored in plain text or clear text, which is unsalted, unencrypted,
right,
and available for Facebook employees to see, which follows the opposite of best practices.
So true.
So, I mean, I ask you this every time we're talking about Facebook in the news. Have we seen governments responding to Facebook?
Yeah, we've seen governments all over the world responding to Facebook, and not just Facebook, but Facebook properties. So let's also include in there WhatsApp, Oculus Rift, Instagram, and what they call the Big Blue app, which is Facebook itself. This has touched everyone from the Rohingyas to the UK government, to the EU, to the United States government, and countless others around the world. They've all asked for some sort of transparency and accountability. Facebook has responded with, hey, yes, sure, we're happy to be accountable. And yet it seems as though there is one narrative that says, yeah, we're happy to comply, and another narrative that is this perpetual drip, drip, drip of bad stories that put their users at risk.
That's exactly the case. We were sort of joking that we feel like we're sort of delivering the same news over and over again. There's maybe like 3 stories about Facebook that just come up with a couple of names changed. How has Facebook changed over the past year?
Well, the question of how has Facebook changed is so large that it is almost as complex as the company itself. Facebook says, look, we have changed. We value you, our users. We value our advertisers, our clients, and we are doing everything in our power to make sure that you are safe and secure. They've said this over and over and over again after every single scandal. So it is much like when a child fibs and continues to do so,
right,
you just say, hey, look, well, I'll take you by your behavior and maybe not the words that you say.
Yeah.
So do you think the public has learned from these scandals?
Boy, what a question that is. We have certainly intellectually learned that our data is not as safe and secure. Although when I say data, that kind of feels cold. So let's replace the word data with our friends and our family, which is really what's happened here, is an exploitation of the product that connects us to our friends and our family. Facebook is not popular because it's a cool app. It's popular because it connects us with our friends and family. So what has happened is an exploitation of that data and those relationships. So we have maybe intellectualized some of what has happened, Vlad, but have we changed? Has Facebook lost users? Do we see a shift in behavior? Maybe from Facebook, but over to Instagram, another Facebook-owned property. So the answer to that is probably not.
No, yeah, I mean, I don't think people have changed at all, because when I look at my news feed now, I still see people spreading questionable information. You know, people are still doing all manner of personality tests.
That's
I know
right.
it's an on-running joke with me. But what about other social media platforms or other platforms? Are they watching Facebook and trying to at least get ahead of the problem for those sites?
Yeah, let's be clear. Our personal information, again, we can say data, but it's really our personal information as well as our connections to our friends and our family, is used by every social media application out there, maybe with different mechanics. But look, all of Silicon Valley is paying attention to regulators, not just here in the United States, but in the EU with the last year's GDPR. That kind of set a precedent that many countries are following. California, the state that hosts many of these companies, has advanced privacy regulations. we are likely to see some sort of regulation come out of the U.S. Congress, but whether this really puts control back in the hands of users is ambiguous right now.
All right. Always on top of what's going on with Facebook is CNET senior producer Dan Patterson. Good to have you on this Friday. Thank you very much.
We'll always follow it.
That's right.